All right,
Call
so
the meeting to order at 6:32.
call the meeting to order and we need to do roll call. So typically, trying to find, typically you have a list like this to be able to do roll call with.
Okay. So I asked if everybody's present. Okay, that's fine. David Champy.
Present.
All right. Geary Ciccarone.
Here.
Ed Comeau.
Here.
Steve Bailey is not. I mean, he was an alternate now, I guess. But Dianne Smith.
Here.
Tim Straz.
Here.
Rick Surratt.
Present.
Okay, we're all present and accounted for then. Maybe this is Steve. No, it's Frank. Uh-huh.
So we
An
won't,
interested party in the master plan. Okay. So, Chris?
we will need to appoint any alternates.
There's no need to.
Any public comments? No public comments. Seeing none. Today's meeting is a special meeting. It's a work session to get the master plan survey results. I believe we need to make that inactive as well on Google Docs.
Yeah, well, after we complete entering it, we'll.
So we ended up speaking to our security officer and the lockbox in the selectman's office. We got the remaining 8 results from the master plan. So we'll need to enter those in, and then tonight we can make it inactive. You look confused, Dan.
Well, I'm puzzled. I thought the number was higher than that.
So we have 105 electronic entries already, and we have another 8.
Okay.
So it's 113, not 114.
Well,
I
I
think-
thought that you counted like a dozen when you get
Yeah,
that.
so prior, I agree with you, I think about 2 months ago, we had some,
Right, that we're kicking around.
yeah. Is that all?
Well, it was 103 at the meeting before the last meeting. You brought 8 or 9. You said there were 8 or 9 at the last meeting. So.
Right, so, right, and there were 3.
Did we put them in a drawer?
Right there.
You know,
Well,
This is all we have in the,
there are 8 there.
because there was 3.
so we locked them up.
That's
Yeah.
what you turned.
That's what we locked up, right?
Yeah,
That's it.
and that's what I have.
Okay.
So I
that-
did go
that
through
must
the box as
include-
well.
That must include the 3 that you had counted before.
So how do we want to do this? You have your laptop?
Yep.
Tom,
If you're solely subbing them, I've got one more. I know you're.
bring it on up.
Bring it on up, still time.
Or I can make public comments,
Right-
either one.
right at the last
Thirty,
minute.
That's right, the last minute.
Right at the finish line.
Okay,
All right,
so
great,
there's a
thank you.
9.
So Diane, you brought your laptop
I
as well?
did.
Okay. So what we can do is, we can log in, we get these entered in as quick as possible. And then we need to figure out what we're gonna be doing with the comments as well. There's multiple comments. I did spend additional time looking this evening. I think a lot of the comments can still be categorized. So there are some regarding like education, and there were many comments that said don't know, because they don't have children in the school system. We could very easily just create a category that says don't know and then put a percentage in there. We got 9. So I've got my laptop, we'll do. Do you want to work in pairs like we did before?
Fine. Anyway, we're,
Diane, you partner up with somebody?
Sure, please, that would be helpful.
You want to work alone?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Ed, you can help?
Yeah.
Thank you.
you're gonna try.
Actually, not a problem.
You got your sheet or whatever?
Tell you what they.
Yeah, it's gonna take a few minutes. Roger. Oh, I don't have the,
If you want
For Wi-Fi?
Oh, yes, thank you.
It didn't save it?
No, I didn't.
No, I'm saying the computer didn't save it? Is that the same computer you have here?
You need
Yeah.
the link again,
It might
Diane?
automatically log in.
I'm sorry?
You need the link again?
Yes, please.
Just give me a moment.
Well, actually, I need the login.
You should need a login if you have a link. Just fill out the survey. But, find it,
Yeah, I don't have that written down, mine automatically next.
Doesn't say mine, it's automatically.
I put it in here so long.
So there's Wi-Fi in the office, or is it? Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
It's warm in here. Warm in here now?
Yes.
Why out here? That's if you're, shows them, that's the one.
It wasn't all that cold today.
That's the need.
Rain.
I don't have it. That's what it is.
I was in a fire with winter.
Because if you wrote them, it should remember.
Being an engineer, I
Okay.
plot, I did a plot for the past
Yep.
50 years.
Well.
I'm burning it.
You ready?
You're ready to see the
Yep.
burning. Normally have a fire in the morning, it's a good old day.
I said to give him a password.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
for winter.
Okay.
I'll get another look at it. Then you still be the road.
One.
Okay,
Another road soon.
Okay.
and they own,
Go into the deep.
11 to 20 years.
That's
Proud to own.
That's exactly right.
It's not there.
When it's
Okay.
10 below, keep the fire going.
Well, just the opposite. I've got enough wood for the winter, so I'm burning wood. I have a fire going today instead of using oil.
Yeah, that's
You're
fine,
right.
totally great.
It's not letting it select.
One fire in the morning, gas home.
Not letting it select.
I had Easter over to the
Oh,
annual.
what the hell is this?
I got programs, so they come and do maintenance on
Hang on,
the
so
first
we're
once a
going-
year.
Yeah, sure.
And I made the appointment.
Are you trying to enter in-
He came, yes.
I get a blue,
He's now
Z,
booked until
Ziadeh?
January, February. He's not gonna get people's units maintained.
ZYXE
Because he said they
is
don't
on.
have enough people.
It's a login.
You're that, they're short too.
User interface for
Tough job, right?
Same
Diane,
thing.
I just sent you.
No, I'm on my
Your
computer.
email.
You
Oh,
done?
oh,
The guy that was
Alright,
here,
so
the
let me just
guy that
go-
came last year, it was his last week with Easter, because he got a better job in Rhymes or
See,
something.
they jump, they'll jump.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim,
Yes.
question for you. So we are trying to enter in,
oh. All right, so.
I'll show you what it's doing. So I will open this again and show you what it's doing. So I use this link to get in there.
Oh, I'm not sure, how am I gonna,
You have,
I wasn't here last time. so-
well, I don't remember.
If I click
He's
on-
gonna have
yes,
to
you're in edit mode right
break it
now. You can edit, you need to go to the enter
I'm gonna be able to get through, no, I'm not gonna get
field,
through mine.
which is going to be,
To let you drive.
this is, here in the editing.
Okay, so you sent that to me.
You'll find we can preview it. I can remember where it is.
Is DJ getting a lot of workers for things?
Yeah.
I get one every day.
Just-
You're in you're in the editing mode. I can remember where
Did you
So-
send
It's the
that?
same thing.
Yeah.
I
Well,
did
yeah, I
to
mean,
Diane.
yes, exactly,
Yeah.
okay. So what Craig and I did was he was just, you know, start one and
I'll
then
say,
jump
that
in.
shot.
I'll say the number,
Yep.
and then I'll just say what
Yep.
their check is.
Yep.
Yep.
Will this give us a submit?
You're
And
around?
and then actually, you probably don't need to
Right.
give me the number after
Okay,
that.
you're round,
Good.
11 to 20.
So number one is year round.
Yep,
Summer road maintenance.
I'm sorry, letter A.
Walk to the side.
yep.
Letter B is years.
Winter road maintenance, good.
That's the winter
11,
market.
20,
Okay.
11, 20.
Fire protection, good.
Number two is
Number
good.
5, Woodland 4 is good.
And third.
Number three is good.
Number 6,
Four
good.
is other.
7, good.
Don't know, thank goodness.
8,
Crowded, I like the country.
access to Kingsburg.
I think Moose Mountain's a lot of traffic.
Solid waste, you there?
Number 5 is good. Number 6 is other, don't know.
Education, NA.
Number 7
Number 11,
Hang on a second.
is empty.
Okay.
Number 8
Eleven.
is excellent.
No opinion.
There are the trees
No
and
change or wants it too expensive.
Agricultural growth for number 12, strongly agree.
The ones we point.
Alright, so
Residential
excellent, check,
growth.
there's no comment.
13, no opinion.
I should wonder.
Wireless to communication infrastructure, strongly agree.
Yeah, they
You
did.
can't put excellent and a comment.
Support residential installation of small wind energy systems, strongly agree.
Yeah, probably.
16, strongly agree.
I do want to talk.
Consider that another.
17
Section.
is
When we get to
Under other
yes, absolutely.
Cemetery meeting at seven.
Why don't you go next?
There's a cemetery meeting over there.
And A, enact performance zoning standards so new developments consistent and complementary of historic resources. Promote scenic highway designation,
All of a sudden.
preserve open lands, protect natural resources, encourage local agriculture. Okay, we're on 18.
Can't get a break.
Do you believe Brookfield is a desirable place to live? Yes. A, small town
So just
rural,
stick with excellent.
convenient location, people can, let's see.
They're supposed to
Number
rate
9 is
it
empty.
1 through,
Okay,
Huh?
10 is
supposed to rate it 1
excellent.
through 5.
Number 11 is
Yeah,
disagree.
well, they didn't rate it.
How long are you gonna stay at it, select?
okay.
Number 12 is agree.
It was fun until.
Yeah.
Number 13 is disagree.
Well,
Number 14 is strongly.
you're gonna give them all 5s, or don't you?
Well, no.
I'm presuming they
15
would put 5s.
is have no opinion.
Sounds like that type of person.
16 is
Good job.
disagree.
It's your call, I don't care.
No, there's no response of no answer.
No, they just put check marks instead of numbers.
17
Yeah, so you have,
Oh, so
Yep.
they don't know how to read.
Technology.
Yeah.
so you have 5 reasons, you have to rank them 1 through.
Oh, yeah, 1 through 5, okay, yeah, no.
So we'll-
I did fill out the
They check
survey,
mark,
but it was a while ago.
they small town,
18 is yes.
convenient location,
Wait a minute.
people, community spirit,
B,
natural settings, historical character.
Okay.
You going to the Veterans Dinner?
Yes.
Okay,
oh, it says, okay.
19
We'll
is
walk
nothing,
here
20 nothing, 21.
because,
There is
Are you happy with the zoning regulations in Brookfield?
No, what should be
Oh, right.
Home-based
Okay.
business,
a
yes.
place that I might enter.
18,
It's
sorry.
all the same.
22, yes.
18A is.
No, you got your comment, your technical comments,
And
and
then people, community spirit.
No, which one, what are the numbers checked?
Oh, it's right
I
there.
think
Oh,
that
what
way
are the
gives you
numbers
that option
assigned?
for
Did they
comments.
give weight?
Where do you wanna go?
Oh, they just checked it.
Around 5 reasons. One
Yes.
being
Clock changes, so it's gonna be dark at
So I
4.
think it's gonna let us
if yes, please
comments in
rank
here.
your top
Yeah,
5
22A, what was the comment?
reasons.
What I
Make
need to do
residents
Four, and they only have
I don't-
4.
home
Monday,
I don't remember how we did this.
call these people.
aware, make residents more aware of what they can do.
If it's gonna interfere.
Something in
with
the
something.
newsletter would be good.
Yep.
It's gonna take.
I would say that again, 1 through 4. What's the second one? All or nothing.
Random replacement.
So was there something we said to Frank, is he just walked out?
We went next door.
What's going next door?
A lot of activity next door, better show.
Oh, I see, yeah,
That's a better part.
yeah.
They brought that.
Are they serving any
Refreshments?
simulations?
Yeah.
And then
Okay, so
educational.
comments?
Hey, there's a third body tonight as
B
well.
is empty.
You want the comment?
19 is empty.
I got this one.
Okay.
20
Okay, then the next one is 23, and that's yes.
Got that.
24, stay with current
Low
zoning
density
regulations.
structures.
25,
Two
single-family
statements?
homes,
Yes, with a hyphen.
detached accessory dwelling units.
Keep rural, low density.
Okay, 26.
Maintain current zoning regulations for only home business.
Okay.
27,
That's,
This one.
sources of drinking water,
They
number
did.
1.
I had that too.
Wildlife habits, number 2.
21.
Dark skies, number 3.
No.
I go to
Fields,
the
number
wood.
4. And scenic views, number 5.
Is not sure
28,
what times
speed circle, 1 too fast.
This is the response, if you know what should be done. I'm sorry, say it
Not
again.
sure.
Oh, my God.
Speed limit not being
What
enforced.
times change.
So 29.
It's a comment
Regular.
afterwards. 28, you want 29.
Yeah, it looks like there's nothing for 29.
Yes.
Nothing's on
I
29.
got one in the middle.
So I want to say,
22A is
the comment
empty.
that you had on 28 would fit where 29 is the most important transportation traffic concerns. What was that comment on?
Yeah.
Speed limit
Not.
is not enforced.
Wait a minute, A,
for the chat with chief
I have to go
insurer.
back to 22A. If yes, what should be done?
There's
30.
nothing there.
Okay,
And then B.
Rennie retired.
all right, 24.
Age of respondent, 66. Number of members in the household, 1.
Make easier for multi-generation families.
Is there any comments anywhere else, 33
No.
or 34?
That was it. The speed limit not being enforced was the only
Okay,
one.
so I'm gonna submit this one, we'll move on to the next one.
There's 26. Sometimes they put them together in the wrong order.
26.
This guy's cruising.
Maintain the
I've
current
got
zone
it all this
regulations.
year.
7.
This one.
One is sources
We're
of
pretty
truth.
specific about some of their.
2 is dark skies.
Okay.
3 is fields, open space.
So I just entered that and it didn't record.
Which ones they want filled?
4 is wildlife.
So we started at 105,
Yeah.
we're still at 105.
And then 5 is scenic views.
No.
You're
No, they're
So
also
it's wildlife
inputting,
habitats,
you would think
years
they would-
last.
they're also inputting
28 is not
to
filled
the same
Okay.
database. So presumably, they would,
Okay.
it'd be more
out.
than
Not filled out.
just what you just entered.
That's what I'm doing now.
Maybe it takes time to tabulate.
So Henry's in there too.
It's tabulating.
Oh, because they probably had stapled
let's
it
do that.
together that way.
Number 1,
and then
year
we're
round,
done.
home, 20 plus.
He's got one on 32 and 39.
Number 2, poor. And under the other, he's got roads
The
stapled.
one neighbor down there is retired.
Oh,
Too many horses.
okay, so now.
So you-
I mean, literally, I haven't gotten down on my hands and knees and smelled the road, so I can't blame
Every
her.
time you add one.
Yeah, I didn't have to do that last time. I don't know what's different. Okay, I'm ready to go.
Okay, number 3,
Okay,
Yep.
the next one, number 1 is.
poor.
Yep.
Seasonal.
Want to comment?
He's older than
We'll put the
1A
comment in.
Huh?
is
We'll put the
Roads
comment
are
in.
terrible.
owned.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little
There's no-
more clear on the road thing, yeah.
Correct.
Number 4, poor.
Unless it's important.
Woodland,
Moving to
good.
year-round and 29.
Rescue and ambulance, good.
That would be a helpful.
7,
Okay.
One
Good.
B is.
Public access to
5 years.
Cambridge Lake, good.
2 is good.
Solid waste, excellent. Education, excellent.
How would they know?
You with me? Support commercial growth.
4 is what?
Getting a 4 to 11. Some more. Yeah, support commercial growth.
Strongly disagree. Support agricultural growth, strongly agree.
6.
Residential
is
growth.
under.
14 is strongly agree. Wireless communication.
7 is law enforcement, which is other, unknown.
15 is agree.
8, other.
16,
No
no.
public access.
17,
And
yes.
should not be. Public access.
17A is preserve open space
Ruins
lands,
national
protect natural resources. 22,
These are your.
yes.
18.
Oh, 18 ones,
Ruins this natural resource.
17.
They must have messed it up.
And we have
Yeah, so we're backwards, and that's what-
97 million.
yes.
Okay.
Small town rural,
97, we need another
people,
zero.
community spirit,
Yeah, number 9 is good.
Oh.
19.
We
Number
were
10 is other,
we were
unknown.
Oh,
just
no, I'm
over
ruling that out.
That's only 2.
in the recession.
19, it says fix these dirt roads.
13 is
We're getting closer to the specifics.
Is it nothing? Are you happy with the current zoning regulations pertaining to home-based businesses?
They're one,
Now I gotta get back to the other. ones.
18A,
So they've got 10 times.
22,
enact performance
Yes.
standards.
there's nothing after that. Do you own and operate a home business? Yes.
without sending out the tax card.
24, no answer.
So you open your tax
25,
return, you're not paying
Yes,
the
common
common
billing.
no.
Okay.
What the hell?
18 is
25,
I need 24, sorry.
18A,
yeah, 25, two-family
one is small
moving
town
taxes,
rural atmosphere.
more
Two is convenient
rental
location.
opportunities.
3 is people, community, school. 34 is historic character.
Dick Peckham,
5
some
is
places about how much is in current use.
This was bad.
That's part of what you said.
No answer, 27, 28, there's no answers through 29.
I gotta write this down.
They did go there,
Needs
full-time employment,
better.
Yep.
Is it
36 to
living
65,
within means?
3 household members,
I try to run a
that's it for this.
business.
Keep it up for the job is
Yes,
97, we gotta keep up with it. Two
It's
children.
impossible.
You still have to improve the roads before you can put in that multifamily affordable housing.
Well,
You ready?
Yeah, just hit
the coffee.
Season.
small.
Yeah, that's some tabulating effort.
So what
This is our last one.
tax problem on schools. Oh, I knew it was low. I knew it
Takes
was
that.
low.
Year round?
Commercialization.
No, seasonal, I'm sorry.
Commercialization.
Own,
Try to explain it.
20 plus. Summer road maintenance, good
We gotta have a discussion.
and other. And there's a
And
comment.
they added their own X, which is unknown.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it blank.
21A. I don't know.
Well,
Districts.
Do you want the comment or
Zoning
you want
regulations.
someplace
You
else?
can only do one selection, good or poor.
All right.
Is it contradictory to what they suggested for good? Or is it just further explanation?
They're just talking about pulling down big road from one house to stops being.
So,
20 was the small town feel.
yeah,
Just leave it in
Was the
good,
unknown.
real good.
Said you're gonna lose good.
yeah.
And then 21A is that. I
Winter road maintenance is
Because I
good.
didn't answer, because they
Number
didn't
4,
answer,
excellent.
I don't have it, I don't have it.
5, excellent.
If it gets slow on Tuesday.
6, excellent. 7, excellent. 8,
Speculating.
Other.
Needs a good arguer. Presenter.
Right, 22?
there isn't any, and we like it that way. They must not use it.
21A.
Oh, any access to that.
Internet.
He wants to know.
I wonder if he lives on Kings of the Lake.
That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, 9.
His argument. To see if we want to do something.
For what? Better.
The way he presents it.
Okay.
Write it in, I think it's great.
Go into it, remind me.
Solid waste disposal, it says other, we have a septic system.
So I need it to be a mouthpiece.
Solid waste disposal,
We have a septic system.
we have a septic
He
system.
says, if you look at the Constitution,
You
what
got a
you're
lot.
doing is illegal.
Well, that's interesting, he's got his environmental footprint down to just flushing the toilet.
11, that's the most interesting one I've read in all these so far.
You type in the,
Imagine a toilet, you just plug it all in.
Oh, there it is.
Vision of the
23
town.
is what?
Kidding, that's so offensive.
What
11,
happened was that it must
Have
have
no
taken
opinion.
to 22A.
12 is have no opinion, 13 is have no opinion.
23.
So 12 is have no
Sorry,
opinion.
24.
Yep, 11, 12, and 13, no opinion.
different.
14 is
Start over there?
They're getting ready, Tom just showed up.
25.
just showed up.
15,
25 is still in.
The training is just ending and they're getting ready.
strongly disagree.
Okay.
Cemetery. Tom
16.
showed up for the.
Have no
26 is
opinion.
create specific
And
areas.
another one?
Okay.
17 is
I have no idea,
yes.
we just walk in
And
and.
A would be encourage local agriculture.
One, sources of drinking
I'm
water.
going over.
Two,
I'll go over there.
sources of recreation.
You just say you don't want these things.
Yeah, that's it.
Four,
This is to show you
18.
why.
5, fields, open space.
Yes. Small town is number 2.
Nothing on 28.
Natural setting is number 1. Recreation opportunities is number 3.
So you,
19, 20, 21 are blank.
36 to
22 is blank. 23 is no.
so were you ready to do that?
33.
24 is good with current zoning regs.
High speed internet.
And 5 and 6 are blank, 27.
Hey, you know,
Source of drinking water is 3.
High speed internet.
Water resources is 1.
I know, and that's.
Wildlife habitat is 2.
Road the way to-
And that's it for that. And we're on 30.
Recording secretary.
Okay.
34 is same as
Employment.
now, but with better
Other.
internet.
Right, and the.
Age, 36 to 65.
Today's, Granite State, there's an ad from Effingham.
2 members in
They
the
want
household.
planning board secretary, they're paying
And
$17.
that's all they were.
You actually could talk to yourself now.
Number one, home. One B,
Wasn't good.
20+ years.
I'm gonna catch up. Year round, plus years.
Number two, excellent.
Well, you're lucky if you signed after they do. Frank just pointed out that Wakefield's looking for a land use.
What's that?
recording-
Good.
Wakefield's looking for a land use recording secretary, and so is Effingham.
Good.
Really?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Well, my heart is here, so, you know.
Welcome, yeah, sure, yeah. Welcome aboard, the ship is sailing. We don't know where it's gonna dock, but
Yeah. At least it's afloat.
Number 11, disagree.
So we're just waiting,
12
just one more is gonna be tabulated.
Number 13,
How you doing?
Hi.
How are you?
Number
Good.
14.
I'm sorry, 13 is what?
Agree. Number
Between
14,
meetings?
no opinion.
You have between meetings?
We are tabulating our master plan survey.
It's a work session on the
Work
master
session.
plan.
Nice.
Number 15, strongly agree. 16, strongly
we just voted to make our own police force.
agree.
This would not need it then.
No, stick around.
17,
All
yes.
right.
17A.
So far, from what we're seeing, the townspeople are happy with what you guys are
Preserve open
doing.
space
All
land.
right, that's great, good to
Yeah.
hear.
Just that one?
I'm a pretty low crime rate here.
Encourage local agriculture. There's nothing in B.
Just watch that traffic. There was one comment
Oh, yeah, yeah.
about traffic. Too fast on 109.
18A,
Yeah.
Yeah.
one small
Well,
town.
now the road's better. It's probably worse.
Two what?
Oh,
Convenient
was it being
location.
paid?
Yeah, well, now that's
Three,
been
natural
paved, yeah.
centers. 4,
It's a lot
historic
faster.
character.
Yeah.
5, recreational
How you doing,
opportunities.
sir?
Nothing in B.
Oh,
Nothing in 19. Number 20.
Did you see this
Rural
one?
agricultural heritage.
link.
This is,
So I think
we
we'll try to
handed these
summarize all
out.
the
This
comments.
is
That's gonna be
this is the
what's gonna take
latest
time.
one from 2016.
Well, yeah, I don't
This is
really know the
the zoning board
categories.
handbook, this is the handbook.
21A.
Oh.
Nothing.
Okay.
I don't know how.
I think these are
You know what problem with all this is?
your predecessor's notes from a meeting. These are the notes. I've got them in my notes. The edits are gonna have to make them. This is the document. And whoever took notes here,
22,
Okay.
yes.
misspelled my name, but it's not
Nothing
gonna.
in
Oh,
A.
yeah.
And I've got my notes, so
Yeah.
how do you take this?
Okay.
So you have it.
I've already digitized this document, so it's just a.
No, this is you
Yeah, which is
digitized the
really
current
current.
how it's enforced. This
Okay.
was my draft.
They have
Oh,
that for things
the
too.
next one. Okay, well, I can scan that
They have no
too.
Ross.
Well, I've got the original, I got the electronic, I'll send you the electronic.
Oh, yeah, send me the file. Yeah,
Okay.
so,
And you can't make it.
Do you want me to update those comments, or?
Well, no, let's,
And
when
just,
we,
you can mark them as comments, you know.
The only way to say it, how about we do this section?
let's compare my notes
Any
and you
resources
say,
that we're gonna do.
and then we'll have the draft then, okay? Because our job is to take all these notes and create a second draft of this thing and get it ready for a meeting.
Dangerous intersections specifically.
And this draft comes from chapter 2 or 3, or there's an addendum chapter here with the suggested rules of procedure somewhere in
So on
there.
the comments, Tim, when
That's where it came from.
when we start tabulating
So I lived it,
individual
I took
comments,
this document, converted
can
it
we
from the
create
PDF,
categories when we start to see
because this document's online.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, when it comes to education, we
Then-
just put a category, say don't know, and then
And
categorize.
then, changed, I
30
edited
is
the
one
first
time.
draft.
Kingswood
appropriate
Lake,
to-
right?
to
A
Brookfield.
lot of people
And
saying,
then we had a
no access to
meeting,
Kingswood,
and
right?
these are the board
That would be
comments.
4.
Okay, so maybe George did
There's
it.
no access.
No, George was
Yeah.
our secretary, yeah.
So can we recategorize some of those comments?
Yeah, once we,
All right, well,
are done, we can
Okay.
Nothing in 29.
output it
Just so
into a
this is,
spreadsheet.
it'd be good for you to have a copy of
Yeah,
this
of
document,
course.
because this is divided for ZBAs,
Oh, yeah, okay.
including all of the RSA.
And you type in one on online for
Some
rural
of it,
vacant south.
this is where the wording, the RSA's in here.
Yes.
One of our
versus-
residents wants to live on the lake,
29.
there's access to Kingswood Lake, and said,
Very good.
I just,
Yeah.
we like it.
So,
That's 20.
Yeah.
She must have just
Sorry.
liked laying in there when she quit.
I see.
30 is part-time.
Oh,
And our other beauty was solid waste.
See if there's anything else.
It's
They
supposed
got
to
all
enter in
We have a
29.
septic system.
space there.
These are
That was
all,
pretty good.
So
Hey,
these
more
are
trash down the toilet.
Yeah.
if you're part-time, you're not retired.
meeting
Those look
minutes
quick.
from old minutes.
Okay.
That's one thing you and I need to do is look at the files. 'cause
Well,
the files-
about that, I did.
Do you have
I did
categories
work
already
for it.
set up?
I got access to the website.
Categories
It won't allow me to do
Yeah,
it.
comments?
So I mentioned that
Yeah,
to Rose,
we have
as
to-
the other
so we-
person, so she and Lori,
I think we
Lori
need to make a
broke back.
decision how we want to handle that.
She's at her second job today, but tomorrow she'll
Wait till they're done.
address that and get me,
Yeah.
you know, because I've got minutes to post, I've
Yeah,
got to,
good.
so as soon as I can actually do it, I'll do it.
Can you initial and date each
Because
one
I've
of you
got
guys
to
do?
go home.
The ones that we did,
Yeah.
Is that it?
yeah.
Okay,
Did you get them all?
I did. There was only 3.
So all of them are entered.
they're all entered. So it was a total of 114.
Okay, so that now everything jogs, because that's what I reported in the paper too, coincidentally. But it was Frank who actually made that. a
Frank's line is right over the top.
Thank you, Frank, for making my report accurate.
But his survey really skewed the numbers now, though.
Oh, it did. How do you know it was his? He's just anonymous.
Tim, can I make this non-active now by not accepting responses?
That's what I was, yeah, are you ready to click on that right now?
I'm there right now.
All right, go for it. So, I was just gonna do it, but I've got it.
Okay. The form is no longer accepting responses. And these have to get archived. Diane, thank you for bringing the laptop. Tim, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Bringing the laptop and entering those in. No problem. So now we get the fun of discussing how we want to report this to the townspeople to be able to have access to it. I think some of these ones that we didn't leave open interpretation with comments, it's pretty easy to be able to report that because it's just going to be a graph and put that. I think what we need to do is figure out how we're going to put the comments into a category. Example, summer road maintenance. There's a lot of comments on there, which many of them I think would fall under either poor or fair. It might be possible just to create another category and put those in there.
Well, I'd say we have 4, we have excellent.
Excellent, good, poor, and fair.
Well, I'd say a lot of that would just go to poor. If they're negative.
Right.
So what did you say? Excellent, good,
I don't know, fair, poor, was that what the options were? I can't, I just entered them, I can't see.
Yeah, excellent, good, poor, fair. Review that real quick. So actually, we had 3 categories, excellent, good, poor, and other. But it looks like there's fair as well that someone added.
Did I put fair on there? Yeah.
No,
Oh,
no, that's one of the.
oh, that was somebody's comment.
But it happens to be right under the poor category, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the majority of these, when you look at them, they, even somebody says poor right in their comment.
Yeah.
So we could categorize that pretty easily.
So I would propose that, that gets exported into a spreadsheet. And one of us, and I'll volunteer, goes through and massages some of these things we're talking about into the categories that they need to be in. So it's gonna take some time for somebody to sit down and
Yeah, and I think it's pretty, a lot of them are pretty clear, and there are some that are definitely, they're good comments to be able to use towards understanding where
Yes.
people think. So I don't want to disregard the comments. We definitely
No.
want to keep track of those comments because there are some roads that are clearly identified, hey, these need some attention.
Yes, well, I think what needs to happen is it gets exported to a spreadsheet, that's a master spreadsheet, that just, it gets saved. That has all the raw data in it, then we make a copy of that, and that's the one we edit for content, make sure they're in the right categories.
So when this, I guess I'm not sure, what are you looking at?
So you end up with a pie chart, and it has excellent, good, poor, and then other. And each other comment, if it's not an exact typographical match to another one, ends up being a tiny percentage. So you have this pie graph that may be like 30, 15, 20, and then you have 61% other comments.
So you're gonna go through each and every one of them, get
Yeah.
the other comments, interpret them to where they should go in the actual survey, and then add them to the pie chart, so that's just.
We'll add them to the category.
The category.
Right.
To me, it's a good, fair, poor, and,
Right. But
or,
if it's, as Dave's saying, if it's an other that is of value, that, I mean, you have to read it and say, are they just embellishing on
yeah, I get it.
the three selections?
But if
Or are they actually have an actual succinct response that needs to be captured?
Well, if they come up with something creative, then you probably could find similar ones and lump them.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I mean, winter road maintenance, there's a comment, and in their comment, it says, poor, rips up private property. So,
It says rips up, is that what it
yeah,
Right.
so
Wow.
it just says poor. Why wouldn't it just be poor?
Yeah.
I mean, their comments are definitely, they support why they're saying it's poor, but I'm not sure, other than speaking to road agents and saying, hey, this is what some of the complaints are, it might be worth him knowing.
Well, it's too much
But we're not gonna put
about
that.
nothing at that point. Poor is poor.
Right.
Right. That's the way I interpret it.
Yep.
Or,
Yeah.
and they're just supporting their,
So, I have a question.
Diane, go ahead.
Are you looking at how it would be presented, or like a summary of what it's going to look like?
So I'm looking at a bar chart
yeah,
right now, and it shows the percentage. So winter road maintenance, good. 40.5% of the people in town that answered the survey said that it was good. 32.4% said it was excellent. And then we have,
yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
It's all these 1%.
say 14 that are comments that equate to 0.9%.
Okay,
So those comments, some of them in the comment, it clearly says it's poor. Well, why would it be in the comment? Why wouldn't it be marked poor?
Yeah.
So those are the ones that we need to go and say, people clearly said, there were some other things that they had commented, and the first word was excellent, blah, 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 blah. Well, why didn't they check excellent? They went to other and put the word excellent and then explained why they said it was excellent. Those are the things that we're talking about. And some of those are really clear. You know, it's either poor, excellent, or good, because they put it in their comments. So it'll take the other category and shrink it down and put them into the right categories as to where they should have been.
okay.
But we also don't want to make up our own opinion as well, right? I mean, if somebody is rambling on with a long sentence and not being clear of what they want, then we can just have a comment and leave it another. Then
Well, we
somebody-
do need, oh, Rick's gone, but we do need to identify whether certain comments need to be omitted based on personal disagreements with individuals.
Or
Well, you're talking
non-statements.
about, just to make sure I'm clear for the minutes, is that you're talking about summarizing the comments, not putting the details down. Like you said, if they said, you know, they keep plowing and they're ripping up the side of the road, that's something for the road agent, not the winter maintenance is poor, is what they're saying.
Right.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah,
So not printing the comments, that's what I heard.
Well, there may be some comments that are worth capturing.
Yeah,
If they're,
greatest hits of some sort.
or,
Well,
you know,
what we did for the amendment, the 2000, whatever it was, 2000 amendment, is we did the survey and the planning board picked representative comments that were representative.
Oh,
And then
representative.
said, if you want to see all the comments, come in, we'll give you, that's public record, you can come and get a copy of all the
That's not
comments.
bad.
That's
So,
probably
this
the best
is
we would do.
To paraphrase Tom, the greatest hits here.
yes.
Yeah.
It'd be curious to see how many of them match what the, this document did.
That would be interesting.
This is 2001.
But I know the point you're trying to make, and I'll agree with you on that. There are some comments that we really don't, because it could be considered defamation of character as well. So we have to be careful.
Which we discussed a little bit in the last meeting. And there was some concern from the selectmen about employees,
Correct.
so.
Well, you feel confident when you read something, you can interpret what they mean, even if it's derogatory against an employee, obviously they're talking something is poor.
Right.
Right, but there's other sections of the survey where comments were the response, and I entered some and I was kind of shocked. You know, I would think they would need to be kind of,
Well, they don't have to be in the greatest hits, so you just
Yes.
said, like Frank said, refer, all comments are available if you want to come to the
Yeah.
town offices and look it up,
I think that's a good way to do it.
And they're all logged in anyway.
right, but
So actually now anybody that really wants those comments can access it on the computer if it's on the website.
well, what I propose is we take this, put it in a spreadsheet, call it a master, print the whole thing out. That becomes the record, the paper record of it. And then we go from there, we fix some of our 1% issues to make them into relevant categories. We go out and we weed through there are a lot of comments in there, and good comments about some of the telecommunications issues, some road issues that need to be captured. And a lot of them, I think we need to summarize and say, you know, the majority of the comments for this section were this. But I think it takes somebody sitting down and going through it and reading it a bit, and then perhaps presenting it to the group at the next meeting, and then we can review it.
Isn't that kind of what we're supposed to be doing here this evening?
Well, somebody needs to sit in front of a computer and figure out, it's not something,
We're not gonna get
Do it
this
by
done
committee.
today by committee.
yeah, it's somebody, it's gonna be tedious and it's gonna take some time.
And I'll give you
It's
another
only
example.
114.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
It's
lot of
only how
opinions
many
though.
questions per?
And realistically, Woodland Fire, I'll just throw that in there, I'm looking at that now. There's, let's say 12 that are comments. And out of 12 of them, 10 of them say, don't know.
Right.
You just make a category that says, don't know. And those all get thrown in there as opposed to,
Or just get rid of them altogether.
Yeah,
I mean, if they can't answer excellent, good, or poor,
they should have never
then,
written
and
anything.
they're commenting that they don't have a clue,
That should be
then,
omitted.
okay. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to give
don't know is not
examples
an
without-
opinion.
yeah, but I mean, they're stating they don't have an opinion on it, so they might as well.
Not
not
really.
have it.
So I'm gonna say the majority of the questions we have on the survey will be fairly easy to be able to categorize them, the other sections. I think the one that's gonna take the most time is the Kingswood Lake one. That one, I'm still scrolling,
Yeah,
and it's just, there's a lot of
Just
comments.
regular comments?
Yeah.
Books.
so there's some sarcastic
Yeah,
Yeah,
dumb question, there
Yeah.
isn't any.
yeah, there isn't.
There is none, don't use, never, where is the access? Realistically, there isn't any.
Did we,
One was too expensive.
Yeah, too expensive for access.
did we already separate the ones that could be derogatory? Are there a lot of them?
They have not been separated.
Everything is
We
raw
have
right now.
entered in raw data from the surveys and put it into the database. So when he prints that out on the spreadsheet, it's gonna be all the raw data.
Yeah.
All the comments, everything that was there.
I bring it up because should we, the only part I'm worried about is the derogatory statements, because we gotta figure out where to put it in the category, and should we do that in non-public? If it's about an employee, or are you just gonna go home and interpret it? Like, when are we gonna talk about the actual?
Well, what I would propose, this is what I would propose, is I'll go home, I'll put it in a spreadsheet, we'll call it master, I'll print the whole raw spreadsheet out so that we have it. That'll be the record. And then from there, I'll make a copy of the spreadsheet and go through and kind of condense some of these items. And we'll leave, I'm not, things that are gonna be questionable or comments, I'm kind of of the opinion, just leave all the comments in the, like the 20s, those sections, leave them all there, and then we sit down and discuss how they should be grouped together so that we could submit it like they did in 2001 with the top 5.
I got a question.
I don't feel comfortable weeding through everybody's comments and making judgment on that. I think that's something we should do as a group. I do feel comfortable that editing some of our selection questions where we had other and condensing that into the 3.
What are we talking about with derogatory? I didn't run into derogatory. I mean, well, there's always derogatory about Kingswood Lake or the dirt roads, but
Specifically mentioning certain employees to
Yeah.
fire them, or making.
oh, see, I never ran into a single one of those.
Oh, yeah.
I have somebody else
Here and
did.
there.
Yes.
So, things like that. It
Okay.
doesn't add value to the master plan.
No, it doesn't.
Someone's venting.
I would say.
I was trying to figure out what you were getting when you said derogatory. It was what it.
No, that's not an answer to one of the questions.
Exactly.
So that
Oh.
should be omitted. It's just
Right.
a comment.
Well, there is a section what could be done better, and
Yeah, we're answering the question.
they were answering the question. So,
All right, so, Tim, I appreciate you volunteering to do that. I think the majority of these will be pretty cut and dry to be able to say it's a poor, good, or excellent based on their comments. The Kingswood Lake one's gonna be interesting. And then some of the comments, whatever's left of the comments, it should be much less than what we're seeing here. And we can sit down and say, all right, well, here are the 6 remaining comments for Kingswood Lake.
Yeah.
What ones do we want to pull out of here, make these our greatest hits, that we report those in the comment section?
yeah.
Versus right now, we're gonna be going through 27 to 30 comments and try to figure it out when a lot of these are already categorized.
Well, we can, the spreadsheet will be in the PV Chair Google Docs folder there. So it'll be there as the record, and as it's edited, that will also be there. So it will be amongst the grouping of material where the Google form is located too.
Okay, good.
Is the edited one going to be a separate document?
It will be, yes. Yep.
And so the presentation of this information, it's going to be graphically?
Yes. Pie chart or bar chart, I think we were talking about doing pie chart. They're looking at other,
You don't like
I hate pie charts. I hate
That's-
pie charts.
but it's gonna be in text Roman as well too. I love that. So anything we can post that's gonna aggravate Diane, let's post it. Make sure it's. Diane, are you suggesting another
I
way?
hate doing
Are you suggesting another way to present it to the people in town?
I have a problem with pie charts.
We do scatter
I,
graph.
it just, bar graphs are so much better.
Bar graphs it is.
Okay, I mean, that's what we have right now. I don't know if you've seen the results, but we can actually log in and see the results.
No, let me just put it
If
over
we
your
had a
shoulder.
big screen, then we could present it that way too. So all the stuff that we just entered in year-round, 91.2%.
Is that a private link or is that open on the website?
This is access to the
It's a
owner of the
Google
document.
form. We set up planning board Google account.
Okay, fine.
So Diane, come here for a minute, I want to show you something that we're
Google
referring
Docs.
to.
It is, yes. Yeah.
Summer road maintenance, some of these can be put
What
into
is there
very
for?
easy categories.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, they're complaining about specific roads, well, they're not happy with the road maintenance. And then you have, let's scroll down here. Kingswood Lake. So we have to categorize all this,
Mhm. Yep,
and much of this is poor. They're saying that there's poor access.
I agree. That's right. And I have no problem with everything that you guys have said until you said pie chart.
So it's just slowly she turned and step by step.
You know, looking at this, how it was done this time, how can we improve this so we don't have all this extra work? Is there any way you can think of making it
Gotta
better?
simplify the questions.
Yeah,
No comments.
no comments, that would really stop that right there, if you said no comments. You had to say, check a box, if you didn't have something to check, don't know.
And we may need, you know, specific, you know, more questions when you come up to Kingswood Lake. It seems like that seems to be a sticking point for some people.
Well,
I would say that 70% of the comments that I see right here are poor. They're commenting and they're saying it's poor, but they're putting in their opinion as to why they think it's poor.
Well,
So,
was the ultimate goal here, based on what the people decide, because Kingswood Lake access has always been poor historically.
Right.
There's never been a scale. So was our goal to even ask the question to determine whether we're gonna try to make some expensive access to Kingswood Lake, or is the whole thing irrelevant anyway? I don't know. Maybe we spend a fortune
Plan to
doing
figure
that.
out whether or not in 10 years people want access to the lake, right?
Well, when, in 10 years? Then you'd be doing another planning board survey by then anyway.
Well, we're trying to plan the outlook for the town. So these are the opinions.
Is there,
So this is a 10-year plan, isn't it? Usually it is a
It's
10
recommended to 10 years.
10 years, so it'd be till 2028.
To update it.
Yeah, it's updated to 2020.
Diane, did you have a question?
I did, is there going to be any value or ability to do any correlation with the opinions based on age, you know, or just the whole, you know, any kind of relational database sort of comparisons?
No, because we didn't categorize each survey by the age. We just categorized the entire batch of surveys, 114 surveys by age.
Well,
You could correlate it
We
if
do
you
have an
wanted
age.
to.
Yeah, but each discrete survey, so then, I guess
So
let
every-
me ask the question differently. Are the survey responses able to be linked within the survey? In other words, could we call out, okay, all of the people that had a negative opinion about this happen to fall into these demographic categories?
Yeah, we didn't, I don't think. we
No, I
set
don't
it
think
up
that was
that
the
way.
intent.
It's a good idea, though.
I'm not sure if we can or not.
I mean, if you
Each-
have it in a
each-
spreadsheet, you should be able to put it into Access and do it.
Well, Alyssa summarizes it all. That's, because we're gonna take the
Oh,
summary
okay.
results
It's
into
just-
the
So it may not be
spreadsheet.
giving you the discrete
Right,
information.
but we do have each form captured as we entered it
Yeah.
with that data, so that's a good question. I don't have the answer, but I will look into it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know who else found that, but I found it when we did our group of 50 or 30 or whatever it was. that Pretty much the demographic was all over 55
Yep.
and almost 90%, maybe more.
So I
So
have,
I'm assuming that it was probably hold true with everybody else. I find it hard to believe that we got the only group of people that were 55 plus, but
so employment of respondents, full-time, 44.5%. Retired, 38.2%. Age of respondent, age 18 to 25, we have 1.8%. 26 to 35, 6.3%. 36 to 65, 46.8%, and 66 plus was 45%. The number of household members doesn't really.
That might correlate fairly closely to our general population in town, actually.
Right.
I would hazard a guess that that probably follows the line.
Yeah, I think the number of respondents that we got was a pretty good summary of
20%.
population.
Yeah, that's good.
20%.
That's a good turnout, I'd say.
Yeah. All right, so Tim, will you be able to have that done by next meeting?
Yep.
So we can put that on the agenda to take the remaining comments.
Next meeting being the 15th. Okay. Okay, you understand that, that's only 2 weeks, so.
Yep, no, I'm good for that.
And you're gonna put everything into a master spreadsheet as well?
Yes. Yep.
What we can do with that too is we can print out a hard copy and put it in with the survey result.
I think we should, yeah, that'd be wise.
Have the whole summary there, so.
Yep.
Where are the other copies that we vaulted?
In the vault.
We should lock these up in the selectman's office tonight and add them to the collection.
That's the plan.
We've lost both our selectmen, who's gonna lock it up?
I
Rose.
don't think Rich
No,
broke.
Rose.
Rich is-
Are you leaving? I mean,
Rich is next
Are you gonna be
door.
around?
Until they're done over there.
Okay,
We wanna lock this in there.
Oh, put it in there right now. I'll lock the door when I leave.
okay, good, done.
Is there a note on, as to who that belongs to?
It says right on the envelope,
Okay.
planning board, master plan surveys. All right, so Tim, thank you very much for volunteering to do that. Next meeting, Tom will put on the agenda that we're gonna take the remaining comments that were not categorized. And we'll call it the best hits, Brookfield's best hits or something like that.
Sort of vote on which ones should deserve to be on the roll of honor, so to speak, or the
Yeah.
golden oldies list.
Which ones we'll put on the pie chart.
Okay.
So, so what I'll do is I'll edit the spreadsheet, and then maybe what I'll do is Dave, I'll send you a link to the spreadsheets, and maybe Tom, you can print it out.
I could print it out for, it'd be good if I could have the comments
Yep.
separated out, and I could just, so that people could be ready to discuss them at the
Yeah.
meeting.
Maybe I'll.
Or in advance, actually.
Maybe I'll
because
move
then
the
I'll-
comments into a Word document.
Word
or
document,
something.
okay. There's the pie chart.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
You just don't like how it visually tells you.
I don't think that they're visually appealing. I think that, they begin to blur, and at least with,
Well, there are ridiculous pie charts that say 1%, 1.3%, and they're just a bunch of little things with call outs all over the place.
And then you may print one out in black and white, and then forget it.
Right.
And it
No,
really
blue
becomes
suddenly-
Oh,
hard.
that's light gray, no, that's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 91% of the people that answered the survey said that Brookfield's a desirable place to live, so that's good.
Oh, good. Oh, that's good.
Tom,
Frank.
Frank, sorry.
The Conservation Commission at its last meeting voted to form a subcommittee, which is basically me, to be available to the planning board when you actually get to drafting the master plan, to help or to be there when you do the natural resources section of the master plan. The current one, I just went back over it again, the existing one, is very short, and it really probably doesn't need much more than what's in there now. I did some research, the one for Wolfboro is 85 pages, and it's
Oh, yeah.
And
ridiculous.
that's because they did.
Yeah, they spent 40 grand on that, by the way, so not appropriate for the town of Brookfield.
They have a lot more lakes.
Yeah, well,
Watersheds
it's,
and all
they've
that.
got pages and pages of what's effectively policy hidden in the natural resources
Oh, really?
section, which is probably not appropriate
Yeah.
at all. So, I came tonight to let you guys know that I'm gonna try and start coming to your meetings as you work through the master plan, so, and also, you know, I was chairman when we did the last big one and the addendum, so, I've been through it before.
Okay.
And the lake was the big issue then. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Like Gary said,
Yeah.
nothing's changed.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frank, appreciate it.
Do you recall if the, if Brookfield master plan has an inventory for the resources or
Well,
an index?
The Conservation Commission maintains the inventory, and I don't think the master plan actually referenced it.
Yeah.
And I think potentially that's one of the things we could add to the updated master plan is a reference to this document. This document now is getting out of date. It was revised in 2017, but it doesn't include, there's been some new conservation land added in town in the last year or two, Hatch, and also Fred Kahn's Split Rock conservation easement and a couple things. So it needs to be updated. You know, the rivers and streams don't move too much, so
Yeah.
most of it's okay. You know, we do have quite a bit of conserved land in our town, and I think, in fairness, the master plan should point that out, that it's there. I don't think the current master plan actually talks about that at all, about the percentage of land in town that is conserved.
Conserved in one way or another.
And then there's another issue potentially to talk about, and that is if the master plan wants to say anything about the 200, about the preserve, about the town owns. The old master plan talked about the town buying open space. Well, the town bought some open space, yeah. So that's kind of the couple of topics that could come up when we get to that point.
Excellent. Thank you very much. All right, well, I appreciate all of your help tonight, and the discussion I think has been very good. I think that we have a really good stepping stone for the master plan based on the results we got back, so. Do we have any further member comments? Diane?
I just wanted to talk about the renewal of our
SRCC.
the books, our books.
Land
Oh, the
use-
books,
the land
yes.
use books?
Yes.
Yes,
We talked about 10 words at the last meeting, that was the things.
Mr. Chairman, I ordered the books.
Excellent.
Okay.
They're going to send me an invoice and then we pay, but they only take cash or check, they don't take cards. So I guess I'll be writing a check. And I'll take care of that.
Okay,
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'll
very
visit
well.
SRPC and make sure they're paid so we get them this time.
I appreciate it. You'll do an invoice and then get you paid by Mary Lynn?
Yeah.
All right, excellent.
Who were you talking to? It wasn't
It's a
Shannon?
new, no, it's not Shannon, it's somebody else that was
Okay.
doing it.
Okay.
They had a nice emailed form that you fill out.
Will they still give us the discounted rate with your personal check?
I hope so. It's good to say GovernmentOversite.com. My member comment is, did we hear back from the other pit?
But not,
I have the report. I just put that on the agenda for the next time so that we can talk about the pits. Maybe by then we can get that other pit inspected. That way we'll have both of them done.
You want me to go talk to them? I see.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what else to do. I could send them another letter, or I just don't like going. I could go there and ask them, but I feel like I'm,
I know them for a long
Yeah,
time.
Gary said you knew them, so if all we need to do is say, okay, go ahead and do it, that's all you're really looking for is a bridge.
I'll stop down there and ask them.
And that way we can have them both done.
yeah.
And my last question is, the reclamation plans, do we know where they are in the office? Because part of the gravel pit inspection is the reclamation plan being followed? So I don't know if there's a plan in there somewhere.
There were, a long time ago, I mean, there were
reclamation.
Years ago, yeah.
There is a plan, and it follows state law. You know, they define a plan and we adhere to it instead of making our own. So we could probably dig that out of the RSA.
Craig might know, because he was in earlier about, you know, organizing all the documents.
Where's your book for a minute?
I just thought it would be appropriate to have the reclamation and the reports in one spot, so if anybody comes in to question it, the report and the reclamation plan is in, because on one of the check boxes, it says pass or fail, is the pit reclamation plan being adhered to?
If you have something to compare it to, how do you know?
There was one for the Long Meadow pit. The Nason pit is kind of a unique situation. The reclamation plan was handwritten by Eddie's grandfather, and it's just simply a picture of this pile of sand with a line drawn through it and said, when we get flat, we're gonna stop and put grass on it. But that's what that pit, it's really not a pit, that's a big pile of sand that they're cutting down, and when it becomes level with the rest of the land, that was it. In fact, I think at the time, the planning board did not grant them the ability to dig down past the level of the land. The Long Meadow pit is a pit, it's a different situation. So Eddie's pit is, the Nason pit is a little far more straightforward. And literally, there was a hand-drawn Eddie's grandfather, just a line, said, we stop here.
Well, we're no longer calling it the Nason pit.
Right, because he
it's
no
now-
longer owns it, right?
It's now Moose Mountain Properties LLC.
Okay.
I just wanted to see all that in one spot, that way if anybody does any request or ask about it, it's in one spot.
At one time, there was a file with those plans in it, in the cabinet.
So it should still be
Yeah,
there.
it's archived.
And 55E. E.
Ed, I'll follow up until you find this reclamation.
And then we have our own earth excavations zoning ordinance, separate, in addition to 55E. Whatever it is.
Yeah, so books and the pits. What else was there? That was it.
On your check that you submit to SRPC,
See?
the check that you're gonna submit for the books, will you put in the comments of town of Brookfield? We have a link to that as well.
You want a link to the check?
So you'll have a link to the check, so if there's a question later on, the funds being sent, whether or not it was sent to, for the town of Brookfield, you know what I'm saying?
So just put town of Brookfield in the comments.
Yeah, just in the comments, town of Brookfield, land use book or something like that.
You mean under a memo?
Under memo, on the check, yeah.
Under memo, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, half asleep.
Well, sometimes I think it's me. I don't know.
155E5 has really got the definition of minimum and express reclamation standards. It's not very long, but it's relatively thorough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, and they're really but 3 or 4 paragraphs. So, and it's pretty simple to evaluate based on this.
One would think we would have to follow state standards if they're state standards, but that's basically the state.
Well, they give you silk sizes and quantities and qualities for reclamation.
All right.
And basically, it's right here.
But if those 5 points are there, I would think a local reclamation plan would have to reflect that.
Do you want the electronic version?
No, this is fine. Thank you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying that's the reclamation plan. So when the question is, are they following it? They're
Right.
referencing that. I know it doesn't say that in the report, but that,
Yeah.
I thought it was an actual separate piece of paper that was filled out separately. I didn't know it was directly from the statute.
Yeah, we revert to the state unless we're gonna create our own ordinance superseding the state. We can restrict, but we can't unrestrict. So, and this is it right here. It pretty much describes it.
You know what I should do when I redo this form with the
Self-addressed, yeah.
envelope, I should add that section.
Yeah, what
That's
the
the
RSA
reclamation
says.
report on the back of the report.
155E5, it's real
Should
short.
actually write it on
Right,
the
yeah,
back of it.
it's
so
very
that
short.
When this is
Just
filed,
reproduce
and somebody
it.
wants to reference it, the reclamation plan that's checked here is on the back. Would that make more sense?
It fit right on the page, too.
Yeah.
I'll check.
General rule is the state allows you to be more restrictive, but you have to at least meet the minimum required by the RSA.
I'm sure you can pull it right offline anyway. And,
It must be a site plan application.
yeah.
Well, that's what I was wondering, is there's gotta be a site plan with some sort of reclamation plan that they
Yeah.
pull when they pull the pin.
I mean, generally, she's follow that for somebody's
But
varying.
I understand what Gary's saying, I mean, there's an RSA that says this is the reclamation.
This is the process that they have to adhere to unless we've changed it in our ordinances, and I don't remember doing that.
So then there should be a file with the report, with the reclamation plan listed on the back, and then there has to be a, what else has to be in the file? There has to be
Should be a site plan.
the site plan.
Well, that was what
Well,
Craig was talking about
wait a
earlier,
minute.
was
But they said
putting
when
it
the
all by
permit was
law.
pulled, there's a site plan.
Yeah, there should be, it's saying
Well,
what area you're
what
going
kind of
to.
site plan?
I didn't, somebody mentioned that there's a site plan along with the permit that was pulled.
There is in this particular case, you mean? Or it's a requirement? I don't see where it would be a requirement.
I'm just repeating what somebody else said.
If
I don't
there
think
is
so.
one.
If somebody had a site plan done for professional reasons, other than mining, because
Yeah.
nobody stipulates you have to have a site plan, legal site plan to do that,
Hmm.
anywhere. So if they have a site plan that's incidental and it's valuable,
Well, if it's got standards that have to be met, they have to be met anyway.
yeah, here are the standards are right
All
here.
you're gonna get out of a site plan is some topography of the.
Well, you're not on the guy's next door's land too.
You know, the limits of the,
In the case of a permit for a new pit, which we dealt with the pit that's now owned by Tom and Dull, Lavender, that was the Albro pit, and I forget the name of the gentleman that was trying to buy it from Albro, is he did a complete, because it was required for new permitting, there was a complete plan, site map, plat, and everything
Yeah.
there done. And then it didn't proceed. We actually had hearings on it, but it never went to fruition because he abandoned the project before we ever got to the point where we voted on it, I think. Memory serves. But the current two existing pits in town are underneath the grandfathered
That's right.
section. So you need to be aware of that too.
Yeah,
So
if
again,
they're-
the documentation for the Moose Mountain LLC is this wonderful thing written by Eddie's grandfather. Remove to here, that's
Well,
it.
clearly before zoning was adopted too, so.
I'm trying to rack my brains. I think there might be some type of map potentially in the Long Meadow Pit file. I think there was some, but it's not a full site plan at all, because again, it was grandfather pit.
No, I looked last time, I was doing it for a couple of years back, a while ago, and there was nothing like that in existence.
All right, how about we not complicate things? Let's just put the RSA 155, 5E or E5 on the back of the, and just say, are you following the RSA? Yes or no?
I just don't have loose ends. I
Yeah.
just wanted everything in one spot so we're all done.
Well, it's
Yeah.
nice you're going out there with this in front of you, so you're looking around and observing
Yeah.
according to what is supposed to be there. It's pretty simple, you don't have to remember all this stuff and walk around with a book in your hand.
Cut and paste.
All right, are there any other member comments? Going once? Okay. I just want to thank you all again, and I also want to welcome Tom Beeler to the planning board
Glad to
administrator.
be here.
Appreciate it.
I'm
Thank you.
glad to help out any way I can.
You're involved with a raucous bunch of characters out
So
there.
I know.
We're a rowdy bunch,
Just
I
remember, you have
know
to
most,
share.
I know
you have to
most of you
share it
guys
with-
already, so I was forewarned. you know.
especially Mrs. Roman pie chart over here.
Now, how are we?
Well, she didn't move that the plan officially, that the board officially refuse to do pie charts.
So next time, we're gonna make sure that we're not gonna put it in the newspaper next time, we're gonna have a posting out on the board and on the website.
Yeah,
Hey, we got an end with publications now, that's good.
yeah.
Did you try?
Yeah, but Sharon.
Yeah, somebody has to move to adjourn.
We found it
Adjourned.
first.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thanks, Frank.
We
it's
lost.
7:47.
That's not,
Still is,
that's it.